Gonna wait for notification. All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to this edition of the Below the Yellow Line podcast, episode 24. 20 forever. Hashtag Jeff Gordon. Get the usual panel on. Obviously, it's your host, Velocity, along with Joseph, Danny, and Justin, along with some special guests. How about you guys introduce yourselves?
I'm Armand, and went to high school with Joseph over here, played hockey together, and found out he's into cars and stuff, so we got a guest at the door, so give us a second, boys. I'll give you a brief introduction. That's my boy Diego, big JDM freak, loves all the JDM cars, you know.
Yeah, me too, man.
Mazda RX-8. Got me into that street racing life kind of a scene, so yeah, he's my.
That's dope, though.
And I think we might have a few guests here, boys. Oh.
All right, so we actually just got a whole bunch of car guys in the building. Sorry, guys, I'm Diego. I met Armand at work. Yeah, man, I helped him get into cars, and I've been into cars for a while now. So, what are we talking about today, boys?
All right, so we got a bunch.
Hold on, Diego. I'm also a car guy too. I'm up here in New York, so hopefully we meet each other.
Well, we got a guest in the building, boys.
Oh,
we got two guests. Sorry about that. Give them a brief introduction. We got Anthony. He's off in the corner, and Ryan. They're both car guys. Sorry, they're talking to us in the background. So, all right,
great.
So fire away, boys. Let's talk.
All right, so we got an action-packed episode for you guys. Obviously, we got the end of the Xfinity Series regular season finale, the end of round one for the Truck Series, and the beginning of the playoffs for the Cup Series, along with some IMSA Laguna Seca. And we got some supercars to talk about. But before we begin, as always, we will give the updated standings for our fantasy league, the World Racing Media standings. Basically, what it is basically every pick. If our pick finishes in the top 10, we get points, and so X, Y, and Z. So here's what the updated point standings look like. No real change-ups. Like really, just some gaps have closed, some gaps have grown. The gap between me and Danny's only 4 points. And,
No.
I had to lose points. I
forgot who I picked on the truck race, but
I was at minus.
Oh, we can find out right now. Actually, here's who you picked. You picked Moffitt.
I picked Enfinger, but he blew up.
He didn't have other plans.
Yeah, lap 6.
So yeah, here's what the point standings look like. Josh is starting to close. Think about this.
No.
Josh was last in the standings when he started. He's about to overtake you, Justin, in third.
Hey, he would have. I would have still been like minus 39 after last week, but Enfinger decided to. Their engines are like, nope, we're not going to finish the race. We're just going to blow up on lap 6.
3 of Ford trucks blew up.
Oh no.
Yep.
2 at the same time.
Yeah. Which is very unfortunate.
Yeah. So yeah, basically it's gonna come down between me and Danny. I mean, but I'm actually kind of scared of Josh, how he just like working his way through the grid. I'll admit that.
He's getting there.
He is getting there. He's got to get through Justin and then me.
Yeah.
Getting through Justin is like the next easy part. Then trying to catch up to me and Danny, that's the challenge.
Hey,
Justin, it's 2 points.
Hey, he should pick BJ McLeod and I pick Mark Truex Jr. So he should start picking BJ McLeod.
Nobody will pick BJ McLeod.
You know what? All right, all seriousness. So let's get started. Let's start talking about the Cup Series race at Las Vegas, the opening round to the playoffs.
Well, the round of 16 surely did not disappoint for the first of 3 races in the NASCAR Monster Energy Cup Series. Martin Truex Jr. scored his 5th win of the season, leading 32 laps, starting 24th from the grid. The entire top 10 consists of playoff drivers because Kevin Harvick finished second, led 47 laps. Brad Keselowski, my pick to win, came back from a mechanical issue. At one point, he had the hood up in the pits, finished third. Chase Elliott finished 4th. Ryan Blaney, Alex Bowman, William Byron, Kyle Larson, Joey Logano, and Ryan Newman, your top 10. And here's the list of playoff notables that finished outside the top 10 in the race. Eric Almirola, Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch, Clint Boyer, Eric Jones had the transmission failure, and Kurt Busch blew the tire in turn 3 and finished dead last 39.
All right, we want to take a look at the update. If we want to take a look at the point standings, so here's what the grid is going to look like. I'll share screens with you so you guys can see. So, it's right here. All right, so here's what the standings look like after Las Vegas. So Martin Truex Jr. after his 5th win of the season, most wins on the season out of any driver, he is locked in. Kevin Harvick is plus 52. Logano is plus 48. Kyle Busch, despite finishing 19th and basically being 2 laps down the entire race, he's still 36 points above the cut line. And then Brad Keselowski and Chase Elliott rounds out the drivers 30 points above. Denny Hamlin, after a quiet, mediocre Las Vegas, he's still 29 points above. Kyle Larson is plus 17. William Byron, plus 13. Ryan Blaney, plus 12, rounds out the top 10. Alex Bowman is plus 10 points above the cut line, and Eric Almirola sits on the bubble, plus 6. Now here's your cutoff. Ryan Newman, minus 6. Kurt Busch, after finishing 39th after hitting the wall, he is now 14 points below the cut line. Clint Boyer, who after starting on pole, who had an abysmal Las Vegas race, he was running like in the 20s most of the race, he is 21 points below the cut line at 15th. And Eric Jones, after having all this momentum, cut off by a terrible race at Las Vegas, losing second gear, a transmission issue, he is last in points, 26 points behind the cut line. What do you guys have to say about it?
Well, I won't be surprised when elimination race at the Roval comes. So there's that. Bye-bye Newman, bye-bye Boyer, bye-bye Jones.
Yo, Joseph, I'm not going to lie, dude. Diego and I, this is foreign territory to us, man.
That's fine.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, listen, I've loved NASCAR my whole life, but I'm definitely you guys are way in detail, man. You're above my league.
Yeah. You guys are like professionals.
Here, let me stop sharing screen.
Yeah, I'm a NASCAR guy too, guys. I'm like, that's fine. So it's all good.
Yeah, so basically how it is like I said, there's 4 rounds. There's a round of 16, which starts off the playoffs. Obviously, 16 drivers are in. 3 races. After those 3 races, if you're in the bottom 4 points, if you're 13th or 16th, you're out of don't move on to the round of 12, which is the top 12 after 3 races. No one is in a must-win situation as of yet. If to be in a must-win situation in the Cup Series, you got to be at least 60 points behind the cut line. Yeah. So no one is even really halfway there. Obviously, Eric Jones is minus 26 back, but he could get a couple stage points, get a decent top 5, top 10 finish. He can easily be back into the conversation, basically for any of these drivers.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the drivers who I'm concerned about, and the drivers who I think will be fine. I'll start off with the ones who I think will be fine because I think it's going to be easy part. The top 7, I think, are good to go. I mean, like, it's self-explanatory. I mean, they're all like plus 29 above the cut line, so it's fairly simple to say that the top 7 will advance unless something catastrophic happens, which could happen, especially at the Roval.
Yep.
Drivers I'd be worried about are Ryan Blaney, Eric Almirola, and Clint Boyer. Those are the 3 I'm really worried about because Ryan Blaney, yeah, he did have a top 5 day, which is honestly a lot better than I expected. But going to Richmond is one of his, if not his worst track. Yeah, he was like 20th to 25th at Richmond. Yeah. And I said it during NASCAR by the numbers. I have Blaney eliminated after round 1 because I think Richmond's just going to kill him.
Ironically, I have Ryan Blaney the underdog in the Final 4 of the championship.
I don't know what drugs you're taking.
I'm taking good drugs.
Yeah, Joseph.
Wait, let me check Ryan Blaney's stats. His average start is 14.9, but his average finish is 26.71. That's
Richmond?
Yep. His best finish is 18th in 2017. He finished not
just one race.
He finished 25th.
Just one race.
He finished earlier this year 25th.
He'll survive.
So yeah, his best finish is 18th. He finished 19th last time in the fall, but last time we were there, he started 22nd, finished 25th.
Hey guys, I think our audio is delayed over here. We're not
tracking everything y'all are saying.
Yeah.
We can hear you guys fine.
Yeah, we can hear
you guys hear him fine?
but
We hear you. We hear you very, very, very well, but I can't hear anyone else. Just you.
Who, just me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can literally just hear you.
Interesting.
so you guys can't hear me?
Yeah, I don't think they could. Yeah, they can't hear
they
you guys.
they did not even respond to Daniel.
Wait, no. I can hear you as well.
So you can
Me?
hear
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Justin speak. Do you hear?
Hey,
Do they
Can you
hear
hear
Justin?
Justin?
No.
Interesting.
Well, then this is really
It might just glitch back.
I can't
Right.
hear Danny either.
oh,
Where you can't hear me?
Yeah, we can't hear.
I can't hear Danny and I can't hear Justin.
You can only hear me and Joseph.
Yeah.
Yep.
Damn, man, that sucks.
wait.
Well, we're gonna have to find a way to work around
Maybe
that.
it'll just glitch back. Who knows?
Hopefully.
Yeah, who knows?
All right. So, what are your guys' thoughts on like the whole playoff situation? Like, who do you think is good to go? Who do you think is something to concern about going to the last 2 rounds of the races of the round?
I'll give you 3 drivers: Kevin Harvick, Joey Logano, Kyle Busch. They're safe, and the drivers that are not safe, it's clearly Kurt Busch, Clint Bowyer, Eric Jones, because not only did they fall behind the cut line, but no one expected these drivers to be in those positions, especially someone like Eric Jones. Danny.
Danny, you good?
And my headphones is not working with the computer. But I was saying those guys are easily safe because they're way more consistent.
Yeah, like I said before, Ryan Blaney, he has 12 points above the cut line, but they have Richmond performance early in the season. I don't like Blaney going into Richmond. I think it's real. Like I said before, I think Richmond's going to kill him.
Yeah, I don't think that, but he could survive Richmond. Let's be honest. All right, ready for Xfinity?
Yep.
All right.
Let's go. This is the final race of the 2019 Xfinity Series regular season. Round 26 at Las Vegas. Tyler Reddick scores his 5th win of the 2019 season and did it off fuel mileage. He led the last 30 laps over Christopher Bell, who had the most laps at 154. Brandon Jones, best finish of the season.
Yeah.
His best career finish happened in 2018, tying Daytona. Cole Custer, Justin Allgaier, Noah Gragson, Greg Galding, 4th top 10 in 2019. John Hunter Nemechek, Riley Herbst, and Elliott Sadler. Shout out to Elliott Sadler. His last race before retiring after 20 years. And here's a list of notables I just written down. Chase Briscoe, Austin Cindric, 11th to 12th, Michael Annett, 13th, Ryan Truex, 14th, Jeremy Clements, 20th, Stephen Light, David Starr, Joey Gase, 24th, 26th, 29th, Vinnie Miller, 30th, Joe Nemechek, 33rd, Landon Castle, JJ Yeley, and Ryan Sieg. Now, mind you, Ryan Sieg did get DQ'd after failing tech. He finished 14 on the track, but got excluded post-race.
All right, let's take a look at the Xfinity Series playoffs. Now they're going to begin. 7 races left to go in the season. The standings look like this. Christopher Bell, he is plus 51. He leads the standings. Cole Custer and Tyler Reddick are tied plus 40. Then there's the gap. Austin Cindric at 4th. He's only plus 13. Then Chase Briscoe, it's plus 8, along with Allgaier. Michael Annett is only 5 points above the cut line. Then Noah Gragson, only 1 point above the cut line. And the cut line is 9 through 12 in the standings. Brandon Jones is
-1.
Yeah, exactly. Justin
then-
Haley is -2, Ryan Sieg -4, and then John Hunter Nemechek is -5. So if you're not in the top 3, you better be pretty damn worried.
Yeah.
Well, next race is Richmond, short track. Maybe like someone like Chase Briscoe that won at Iowa, similar track. He could
They can
Most-
hear him.
most likely do good.
Who sniped?
Like hear us?
Download audio.
Okay. No, they can hear Justin talk.
So, guys, sorry about the interruption here. Our friends that are in the living room on the link watching us can hear Justin, but we can't.
Oh, okay. So that's your guy. That's your friend that's on the link.
Yeah, I assume so. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
he's
So
watching.
that means something is wrong.
Oh, we can hear Danny now.
Oh, we're good now, right?
Okay, here. So
okay.
so I got an idea. Justin, try leaving and then joining back. That's what Dandy did.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll do that. I'll do that.
Yo. All right, guys. Yes, we're getting this to work.
You good? We're all
This
good
is
now.
like the first glitch we've really had with StreamYard.
Yeah.
We left Google
Hopefully it's-
Hangouts after they went out service.
How long
Like-
have you guys been doing this?
What is it? We've been
Like
doing it
March
for 20,
earlier this year. Right?
yeah, 24 straight weeks. So if I could do the math right, yeah, like 4 months, 4.5 months.
Cool. And how'd you guys all meet? That's what I'm curious about.
I met these two through Facebook actually.
Really?
Yeah, interesting. I only live like less than an hour away from Joseph, but I still have yet to meet him.
Damn. Wow.
Yeah.
Can you hear Justin now?
What's up, man?
Justin, speak.
Hi.
Yo, what's up, dude?
All right, we got it.
All right, we're all good.
All right, so let's get. So I think we're done with the Xfinity series. So let's move on to the Truck series.
Oh.
Joseph, you want to take?
Yeah,
you wanna
Truck
take-
Series racing from Las Vegas, the 19th round of the season. Race 3 of 3 in the round of 8 for the playoffs. Austin Hill scored his 3rd career win, driving for Shiggy Hattori, leading 29 laps, starting 7th. Ross Chastain won first stage and second stage, led 88 laps to finish 2nd. Christian Eckes, Sheldon Creed, Todd Gilliland, Brendan Poole, Brett Moffitt, who led 121 laps, more than anyone else.
Wait, what? No. Brett Moffitt led 12, not 121.
I ran handwriting wrong. Ben Rhodes, Harrison Burton, and Dylan Lupton finished in the top 10. Now, here are the playoff notables that were outside the top 10. Tyler Ankrum, who advances, as well as Stuart Friesen, the lone Canadian in the playoffs, will advance as well from Niagara. Johnny Sauter, unfortunately, does not. The 2016 champion will have to wait another year if he wants to repeat. And Matt Crafton squeaks in despite failing an engine, and his teammate Grant Enfinger, who did clinch the regular season title, misses out with an engine failure. Finished 31st in the race. Their next race is not till another month from now at the Talladega Super Speedway, which will kick off the 2nd round of the Truck Series playoffs.
All right, now going into here, I'll read off the point standings going into the round of 6. So there they are on the screen. Brett Moffitt is plus 23 above the cut line. Then Austin Hill is 2nd plus 6. Ross Chastain plus 5 and Stuart Friesen plus 3. Matt Crafton is below the cut line with -3, and then Tyler Ankrum 6 -9 below the cut line. So if you're Brett Moffitt, you're feeling pretty good. Not 100% safe, but you're feeling pretty good. And then 2nd through 6 is pretty. It's gonna be a pretty good dogfight between. I feel like
It's a tough battle.
I'd say honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the top 4 that we see here are the top 4 to make it a Homestead. Maybe Crafton gets ahead over Hill or Friesen, but we just haven't seen winning pace out of Crafton, so I don't think so. And then Ankrum, unless he pulls a Justin Haley and starts winning like 3 races in the playoffs, I don't see that happening. All right, so that's all for the Truck Series. So let's move on to the IMSA, the Monetary Grand Prix. 1 race to go into the season. This was the 2nd to final race of the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship calendar. And it was a Penske 1-2 in qualifying. And it was a Penske 1-2 for the finish of the race, with the number 6 Acura beating the number 7 Acura for the win.
Yeah, just all Penske and Laguna Seca. I called it. Their driver lineup, Dan Cameron, Juan Pablo Montoya, have the richest experience at Laguna Seca. Just by hearing their names, I can tell they were going to win, and they did. Penske finished first and second, rightfully so. The number 31, Wheelan Cadillac, Wheelan Engineering got third. Of course, Wayne Taylor Racing fourth, and Mustang Sampling fifth. Penske owned the race weekend. Let's be real.
Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah,
I don't
Penske
know.
was unstoppable.
I don't know how the 10 Cadillac still didn't get a podium. The 31 Wheeling Cadillac, he went off the track and still got third place. Like the 10 Cadillac, he was just on the track and he got passed even by the car going off the track like 10 seconds behind. I don't even know what's wrong with the 10 Cadillac. It's like,
Listen, they're better off in longer endurance races. The shorter sprint races, like
2017 they won most of the races. Even the sprint races they won.
their driver lineup was completely different.
Why can't they? Well, Ricky Taylor should have stayed. You should not went to Penske.
Okay, he's at Penske, and look what's going on. Results are showing.
Yeah, but he's not winning. It's the 6 that's what
Because he's now with a powerhouse team.
But Ricky Taylor's not in the good car. He's in the 7 that's not winning. The 6 is
Still
doing
finished
it.
second behind their teammate.
But most of
And that
well,
win.
well, they should just have the 6 one car. Then, like the 6 car, they're doing better. They have the better lineup. Montoya and Cameron more experience, and Taylor and Castroneves. So I feel like the 6 Acura, not Cadillac, Acura, they're really putting the results for Team Penske.
All right, and the LMP2 class is just plain and simple. There was only 2 cars. The 52 PR1 beat the 38
by 1 lap.
Yeah, the 38 car by 1 lap. So it was just one-sided over there. In the GTLM class, the number 66 Ford, driven by Joey Hand and Dirk Mueller, scored the victory for Chip Ganassi Racing, beating the number 24 BMW, number 3 Corvette, and the number 4 Corvette finished 3rd and 4th, and the number 25 BMW finished 5th in the GTLM class. For GTD, the number 48 Paul Miller Racing Lamborghini of Corey Lewis and Brian Sellers, an All-American squad and Italian car, finished first. Scuderia Corsa Ferrari number 63 finished second. The number 44 Magnus Lamborghini finished third. The FAF Motorsports number 9, the Canadian Porsche team, finished in fourth. And the number 33 Mercedes AMG GT3, driven by Ben Keating and Jeroen Bleekemolen, finished fifth.
Yep.
All right, on to the point standings. The standings are pretty clear as to who has the advantage. It's the number 6 prototype Acura for Team Penske. They have their points lead extended, which means Acura leads in the Manufacturers' Championship. And second is the 31 Wheeling Engineering Racing Cadillac. Third place is the number 7 Acura Team Penske Acura. And fourth and fifth are the 2 Mazdas, the 55 and the 77, which they started to catch their flow midway through the season, starting at Watkins Glen. Meanwhile, the GTL or the LMP2 class, let's go through that quick. It's obvious now the 52 PR1 has the lead over 38 Performance Tech. GTLM Porsches 1 and 2, Corvette Racing third, 66 and 67 Fords are fourth and fifth. And for GT Daytona, the Meyer-Shank Racing with Curb Acura NSX is leading over the number 9 FAF Motorsports Porsche. The 96 Turner Motorsport BMW dropped to third in the standings after some struggles in the race yesterday. Magnus Racing number 44 finished, or is currently fourth in the points. And fifth is the Scuderia Corsa Ferrari. The 2 Lexuses fell out of the top 5 in the points. And there's one more race, and that is on October. That's going to be on October 12th from Road Atlanta, the Petit Le Mans, a 10-hour race to wrap up the season.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll talk about the final race of the.
Wait.
We'll talk about the final race of the week. Wait, Justin, you want to say something?
We also have Arca. Yeah, there's Arca at
Salem.
Salem, yes, Salem Speedway. And they have that. They had a throwback. Some cars would bring throwback paint schemes. That Ed Pompa won the throwback because he had a Darrell Waltrip throwback. He won the throwback. Yeah. That I was so confused when he won the throwback.
All right, guys. So the ARCA championship looks like this. Michael Self is the points leader right now, 70 points ahead.
No, Joseph, remember 5.
5? I checked Racing Reference. It said.
No. I checked the ARCA website. It says 5.
Racing
Remember,
Reference must be fake news.
No, because remember, Michael Self blew up. Michael Self blew the engine with Christian Eckes getting second, so 5 points. ARCA's website, 5 points. Going to IRP.
That's round 19 of 20.
Yeah, so IRP is going to be interesting. 5 points. It is closer than the last couple of years. This is one of the closest championship battles in ARCA in a while. So that I know that Ty Gibbs just dominated. He led 196 out of the 200 laps.
So there was 4 laps led by Christian Eckes, were the only laps Ty Gibbs was not in the lead.
And Chandler Smith did not win because every week, most people, like Hunter says, every time Chandler Smith's in a race, he wins. Well, he didn't win. He was a lap down in the 20
He
car.
had issues that race. Okay,
Yep.
You want to talk about the supercars now? Ready for supercars?
Yeah.
Armani, you and I pulled late nighters for that. Danny,
Oh yeah.
you unfortunately missed the part that got me raging. But I can laugh at it now. Let's first talk about race 1. So hold that thought. Shane Van Gisbergen took the win in race 1. Kiwi himself at Auckland, New Zealand for the Pukekohe Park Speedway for the Super Sprint, rounds 23 of 24. So this is round 23. Cameron Waters, second. Third place is David Reynolds. Scott McLaughlin, fourth. Lee Holdsworth-Fitch, Jamie Wintcup, Fabian Coulthard, Andre Heimgartner, Will Davison, and Richie Stanaway was your top 10 after race 1 at Auckland. Race 2. Now, Danny, this is the race that got me buzzing. Scott McLaughlin, of course, took the win, breaking Craig Lowndes' record for most wins in a season. So he had 17 wins in 2019. Shane Van Gisbergen, second. Chaz Mostert, Nick Perkett, and Todd Hazelwood, fifth. Scott Pye, Simona Di Silvestro, Mark Winterbottom, Richie Stanaway, and James Golding, the top 10. And Jamie Wintcup. Go ahead.
Moment of silence, please. Thank you.
Whatever.
Well,
I gotta tell you something.
there should be no pace car anymore. No.
I'm a Wintcup fan, but
Wait.
all you have to do is not pass the pace car.
Wait. No, there should be no pace car anymore. It should be just a guy running in front of every car. That would be funny.
What happened to our logic?
No, it would be funny. How about during the formation lap in an F1 race, you just see a guy running. No, running around Road America, 4-mile track.
Why not?
I break my back running around Road America.
With the
whatever, man.
Even running up the hill on the front straightaway would be really
That's why I
hard to
stopped playing hockey.
Ah.
All right. Well, let's move on to the Supercar Championship standings because it's pretty much one-sided. It's the Scott McLaughlin series.
Boys,
598
Yeah.
lead.
I got a quick question. So we can't stay for too long. So we'd like to talk about the car community or something.
Let's get
Yeah,
into
let's do it.
Like I know Joe.
Yeah, I wanted to get everything out the way quickly so we could get you guys talk about the card community.
Yeah, we just finished our last race of the weekend.
I'm sorry, Willie. I'm sorry we had to rush you guys.
Yeah.
No, it's good. Go
It's all
ahead.
good. Don't worry about it.
So I think I told you guys he drives a pretty cool car. Mazda RX-8 rotary engine. It's pretty loud.
Rotary gang.
Yes.
It is. I'm not gonna lie to you. It really is. So, it's such a hated car, but I kind of love that because it's such a great car to actually drive. There's a lot of cool things about it, a lot of cool things about the way that the car was made and how it delivers its power. So it's a cool it's a fun toy, and I love my car, but I feel like I love it so much and I love to drive it the way that I drive it so much that I'm just destroying it.
Dude, hey Victor, um, what about? Have you ever thought about owning like an FD chassis,
Yeah,
R7?
honestly, one of my next cars, uh, I would love either a 240. My boy Matthew, my roommate Matthew, he's gonna be getting a boosted BRZ,
Nice.
and probably an FD3S. Right hand drive, imported from Japan, with a turbo two in it with a single man. That would be such an amazing car. Oh my God.
Right-hand drive FDs are so hard to find out here, especially in New York.
You're all the way in New York.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Up here, you can get them imported. There's a lot of places around here, up in Orlando, that have like import licenses, and they'll import them in.
Oh.
Yeah, and they're expensive, but they're not break bank. Like you'll pay 25 to 29,000 for one.
Dude, I'm not too sure if you know, but I'm not too sure about the importing license up here in New York.
Well, once you get it in, you should be able to just drive it into New York. It's not it's a U.S. law. It's not I don't think the state law matters too much when it comes to that.
Right.
Maybe when it comes to the emissions, potentially, though.
Yeah, that's when it's kind of like, gets kind of tricky.
But at the same time, I believe if the car is older than a certain age, it becomes exempt from the emission standards.
Ah.
Yep. So that's why you're able to import them. So like it has to be older than 25 years.
Oh, okay. So that's why the R34 is not legal yet.
Exactly. Yep.
Now, Armand, I want to ask you about the Scion because
there you go.
Perfect, dude.
I love that thing.
When anybody out there thinks about a Scion XB, think of the Toyota Nissan Cube and just a box. Who wants to drive a box? But then
maybe a Kia Soul, like a toaster.
And then I see you. You put that toaster on fire.
I appreciate it, dude. Joe, I really do appreciate it, man. So
go on.
So I've done a couple mods. Right now I have the roof rack on there. Put that on over the summer. It's got lowering springs. Got a set of wheels. About to throw a JL Audio sound system with speakers and a sub in there. Gonna upgrade the wheels soon in about a couple of weeks. Gonna lower it a little bit more.
Yep, it's gonna be nice.
It's gonna have some wider tires, 18 by 9.5, all around.
So you guys got to keep in mind that this little box has like these little tiny, slippery, they look like rubber band type wheels, So this is just gonna make the car look and just stand a whole lot better and sit better.
Make it more kind of aggressive, with that poke. So
yeah, man,
it's gonna look really good, bro. I can't wait.
It's crazy. It's like when I out here in New York, we don't really care about like looks in a way. We just care about just going fast.
Yeah,
because that's just what it is.
Damn, man. Yeah, I can't speed in that thing. It's
a bit slow, but it's okay. You know what? I was talking to him the other day. I was trying to convince him to boost it because, listen,
theoretically,
we all have our doubts about eBay turbo systems. But, if we can stuff one in the XB for $600, we can do it ourselves. So,
dude, I think you should go for it, man.
It's an investment, man. So,
it's a really bad financial mistake. It's not an investment.
Yeah. So, hey, what do you guys think about the California exhaust law?
I think it's really stupid, man. It's upsetting.
You know what? Hold on. It's extremely upsetting, but it's brought on by terrible behavior. Like, I think that's what's going on with the car community. That's what's so bad about it. Especially down here, our car community is extremely toxic.
Yeah, especially in California, man. I mean, you got some really nice cars. I get it, right? But for the people who are doing like donuts in the middle of intersections and people who are doing or sitting on two-step, messing it up for the rest of us who are trying to have a chill meet, just trying to have a good time. He's like, why are you doing this? You're making us look bad.
Yep.
So, look, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I advocate for safe driving as much as I can. I can't say that I don't drive like an angel, but I think there crosses a line between doing things that potentially endanger the rest of the public
Yeah.
versus doing something either in a warehouse or when there's nobody else on the road. And I mean, and don't get me wrong, I've had my fair share of being pulled over, and to this day, I haven't received a single ticket because I've always been respectful, and I've never been caught doing anything during a time where it would endanger anybody else.
Yeah.
So
I think that's where you really have to draw the line here,
Yeah. There's a difference between ignorance and just having fun with your car.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I feel you because in my Lexus, I didn't do too much of it. Like originally when I bought it in 2016, I was like, oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna put an exhaust in it, and like I have a 2012 IS 250, and it's still pretty much stock. However,
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
yeah, and there's nothing wrong with stock. I feel like people like put too much stereotypes on guys that enjoy their stock vehicles. Maybe that's just me.
I mean,
That
we're hated on, I mean, it's cool. I mean, I wouldn't say hated on, but it's like, wow, your car's kind of lame. It looks cool, but
or maybe even it looks like a sleeper.
Mm-hmm. That's cool.
Sleepers are the the ones who like
They kill it.
blow you away here.
Yep. Like our friend Matthew, his new roommate, he's getting the boosted BRZ.
Yeah.
Thing is a total sleeper.
Oh my god.
It's Dustin like Hemi it's gapping them, it's crazy, man. It should be fun to drive, so we'll see in a couple days.
Dude, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
I got a 2013 Camaro, so literally the only thing I think I've done to it is put a sticker on it.
That's
bad,
it?
man. Not bad. I got stickers on the XB, bro, so it's all good. It adds like 5 horsepower.
Hey Victor, you know Mad Mike?
Oh, his name's Diego.
Oh, Diego. My bad. Sorry, dude.
That's too funny.
Diego.
Where
Sorry,
did you
man.
get Victor?
I was gonna say Victor. I'm like, what?
Sorry, bro. I got a friend who looks just like you named Victor. I'm sorry, man.
That's okay.
But,
bro. It's okay. It's okay.
All right. I was asking if you know Mad Mike.
Yeah, man. I love Mad Mike. I love everything he's doing with all of his cars, and I think it's I mean, he owns Hampton Downs, so that's.
Oh yeah,
awesome.
man. That place is really amazing. I think I should go down.
Yeah.
I really do want to go down there.
Yeah, man. I'd love to go down there, man. I'd love to drift around that track.
Especially. What you were saying?
Oh no! I was saying I would love to go down there, man. I love drifting, so it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, man. Me too. And it's like the last round of the Formula Drift Series is like in a month, I think.
They race in Irwindale.
Yeah, they race at Irwindale.
No, I think he's talking about the what's it called? The Drift Master Circuit.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
So there's I mean, just like how you guys like NASCAR, we have a series not just in the United States, but FDs all over the globe. And aside from FD, there's this whole new circuit or championship called the Masters, the Drift Masters.
Drift Masters.
It's the most brutal drifting that you can find in an arena or in a closed stadium, and it's really cool. I urge you guys to check it out.
Damn, man, that sounds epic. You know,
Yeah.
and even he has his own competition called Drift Shifters. I think they were in London last time. They were in
Yeah.
London.
The
The drift.
the championship. Oh, I'm so sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was talking about the Drift Shifters, the Red Bull Drift Shifters. Dude, that thing is epic. That course is epic, man.
I haven't seen that.
Wait, it's on YouTube. You can look it up.
All right. All right. Yeah, I'll have to check that out.
But yeah, I was saying they have this course, but it's shaped up like a pinball circuit. We score around like these
Oh,
little
that's cool.
sensors to get points. The track is so amazing. They've been to Auckland, they've been to London, and I think that's it. I'm praying to God they come to New York City.
Oh, no way. That's so cool.
I pray to God if they come to New York City, I'll be the first one to get the tickets to go up there, man.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That would be
man, let's do
epic.
it. If it came down here, man, that'd be awesome.
Oh
Now, I got
man,
a question. So I saw in your stories a few weeks ago, you guys have meets at Palm Beach International Raceway. Tell us about that.
So that's called an autocross event. So that wasn't a car meet. That was a legitimate track event that we were at. I put my RX-8 in there. And it's a really cool event, especially for maybe novice to intermediate drivers that want to learn about handling of a car. You know, it's not about the power that you have. You don't have to have the fastest car on the track to be the fastest one in the time. So it's a really cool event. It was my first autocross event that I've participated in. So very fun time. I learned a lot, and I definitely improved my driving through that. So it's cool.
32nd Street is in the
that's dope, man.
Yeah, I think that's great. You know, it sounds like a very professional way to bond and really have the honesty with your car rather than showing off speed and revving the engine and making sounds. You get to actually go out there and enjoy the suspension of the car, the turning and everything that goes in between.
Hey guys, we hear a whole lot of typing or something.
Yeah, Justin. That's not. Oh,
Justin, can you speak up real quick? Can I see if I can hear you?
Justin, can you hear us?
What?
Oh, just making sure.
You said background noise.
Is
I
that
have no
your
noise.
money?
Maybe it's gone. Don't worry.
It was
That's
not even. It
definitely
was
your
not,
money.
somebody has background noise, so that's not me.
My TV, no, that's turned off.
So Joe, what were you saying, buddy?
So, like, I think just having the experience to go to the racetrack to autocross is it sounds very underrated compared to all the other traditional car meets that car culture embraces. I feel like, and I don't know who it was, but you pointed out a minivan once. It was a Honda Odyssey on your story.
Yeah.
Armand.
Yeah, but that's I think that's the coolest part about
Dude,
it.
driving to Diego's house, man. I saw a blacked out, like brand new Honda Odyssey. I'm like, damn, if I had like 4 kids, I would definitely whip that thing, bro. I was like, man, I mean, I'd throw underglows on that thing. Dude, it's
No, he's
sick,
talking about the
bro.
Honda Odyssey that was at the autocross event. Dude.
If
Oh
it's-
shit, that one. Yeah, dude, the
Dude,
guy
if
was
it's-
running this van, bro.
if
was
it's up here in New York, you will definitely get roasted for it, man. But
Yeah,
down
man.
in
No,
Florida,
don't get me wrong. He was getting roasted for it, but the guy was doing pretty good.
oh
You know, so
man,
he wasn't like it was kind of funny. Sorry, you're good. It was kind of funny. But you know, he was out there just to have fun, and that's the point of those things. It's to have fun with your car and use it. And I mean, it's a minivan, so it's not meant to do that. But you know what? He had fun, and he went out.
yeah, man.
Last time I checked, it was Gran Turismo 4 when you brought a Honda Odyssey onto the racetrack.
Oh man,
Hey, well, not just that. I guess in Forza Motorsport 7, you could race like those Ford vans, like those The thing that
Yeah, the transits.
yeah, you could drive that at a racetrack. I'm like,
That's so
wow.
funny.
Have
Yeah.
fun. But in all seriousness, like I think it's that aspect of autocross which people need to embrace more.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. And I think it's a really easy event for everybody to get into, So it doesn't always have to be about the street. And don't get me wrong, you learn a lot when you are at an autocross event. It's a really good experience, and it teaches you a lot about your car that you have, that you don't really have the guts to try on the street, and that you shouldn't try on the street. You can definitely try there. So it teaches you the limits of your car.
Well, that's great. Now I heard you're into Formula One, Diego.
Yeah, I actually belong to a group of about 45 of us. We each pay, I think it's $100 or something like that. It's a little side fantasy league, and we pretty much do predictions of what we think is going to be like number one, number two, number three, number four, number five. 1 through 10 in the race, given what happens in practices and in qualifying. We also have to guess the qualifier, who gets P1. It's a really, really, really cool thing. And it's dope. I love watching Formula One. I've always wanted to get into it. But unfortunately, when I was a young kid, my parents would never allow me to get a go-kart. So I could never get into it.
Let me ask you something
Yeah,
about this league.
It's the same thing it's the same thing with me, man. I wanted to get into racing, but I was like, nah, my mom was like, nah, there's no way.
No. My mom was just not about it.
Yeah.
I mean,
And on top of that, it's a lot of money.
Very
Oh, yeah.
expensive to get into a race car these days.
I mean,
Especially in karting.
Yeah.
Oh,
Karting,
yeah.
Each one of those go-karts is like $4,000. So it's expensive.
Oh yeah, no, like I'm broke. I want to be a racer, but I'm broke. So the only thing I can really do is go to places like K1 Speed. And like I've actually looked up my stats. I've done 80 races there and I won 37 of them.
That's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good stat. I go over here to Extreme. The
Oh yeah, I
Extreme
know
go-karting.
that. Yeah, I know that place. I've been there a couple times. I think the last time I went there, I actually won. Actually,
I think I've seen that place on YouTube before.
Yeah, no,
Extreme
Extremes is a
go-karting.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
it used to be just it used to be just like a pure go-kart place, but then they expanded it.
It's an action park.
Yeah, now it's like an
Pretty
actual
cool.
like entire action park. But yeah, I want to ask you about I want to ask you a question about like your group of Formula One. How many times does everybody pick Lewis Hamilton?
Lewis Hamilton is, he I really hate to say he's definitely my favorite, driver. Not because he wins a lot, just he's just a damn good driver, But he is picked quite often as number one. Honestly, my odds of him being number one are like pretty high up there. So you can find me putting him number one quite often.
Yeah. For obvious reasons, he has 81 world championship wins in the world championship, and he has 5 championships.
Yeah,
And
he's a complete beast, and he's
10
shattered
more
records.
Yeah, man. The guy's unstoppable.
Yep, he really is. You know what? I'm not gonna lie to you though. This half of the season, Ferrari's been putting a stop to Mercedes, terroristic attacks on the Formula One. So Mercedes has been pretty untouchable for the last 4 or 5 years. So
Yeah.
they, Ferrari's kind of putting them in their place right now. So it's exciting to see what happens. Charles Leclerc just took a win in Monza.
Yeah.
It's awesome because Ferrari hasn't won in Monza in a while. So
Yeah.
that was pretty cool.
Now the question is, can Vettel stop spinning?
Oh.
We'll see.
I wish I could say yes.
Hey, about at least nobody picks Pierre Gasly like
This is-
Armand once did.
Okay, you know what? It was a trend. I saw it. I went for it. He finished 10th one race, then 7th, then 4th. It was only ideal to go to 1st.
And he's gone from Red Bull.
All right, so here, look, let me give you my my last picks for the last race. So my last pick was All right. Hamilton, Leclerc, Vettel, Bottas, Albon, Gasly, Ricardo, Grosjean, Sainz, and then Magnussen. The results of that race. Hold on.
I have the results.
Hey, before you say anything, Diego, this is how you spell Ferrari. Team orders. Because that's what it's literally come down to with Ferrari. Team orders, man.
I feel like at this point, it comes to team orders. I think Ferrari's
Or-
going to start putting team
and-
orders against Vettel.
Yeah,
And-
exactly.
Yeah.
Vettel's spinning and Vettel's spinning out, and then I remember.
Vettel's distorted at this point. I hate to say it like
I remember how bad. I remember when Stroll was quite mad that he came on the track like an idiot. Oh my gosh, Stroll was mad.
You know, he's 3 points away from a race ban, according to the
Who
FIA.
is?
Sebastian Vettel,
Whoa!
on his
four-time
super
world
license.
champion
Oh, that is.
of all
He's,
people.
okay. So he's what? He's 3 points on his license away
Like,
from
yeah.
suspension.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken.
It's something with like the super license where if you get a certain amount of points, you get a race ban. I guess they're like penalty points, and Vettel's apparently like 3 points away from getting a race ban. I know the same thing was going on with Grosjean last year. He was only like 2 points away from getting a race ban.
But Grosjean and who was it? It was Rosberg or was it?
Was it
Last year Rosberg was. I want to say it was one of the Williams.
No, remember there was is it the
It was Grosjean. Who was it? Who else was it?
was it? Oh, I thought it was an incident at Azerbaijan.
No, I'm
Well,
talking
the
about
thing
from
is
last
that,
year.
is that
Wait.
Grosjean and his teammate would hit each other.
Magnus.
Magnus.
Yeah,
Magnussen.
Grosjean and Magnussen would go at it. They crashed. I think it was 3 or 4 times that season.
Oh,
And right now, they're actually 9th in the constructors' points at the moment.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they're second to last. The only
Yep.
team below them in constructors is Williams. They scored 1 point this whole season.
just because of that race that the German Grand
The
Prix.
German Grand Prix happened. That's all we can really say. It happened.
Distorted the entire grid. Well, yeah, we go to Singapore this weekend for round 15 of the World Championship.
Yep, it's in 3 days. 3 days.
Yeah, 3
Yeah,
days
man.
in Marina Bay, and there's already talks about possible health conditions because the climate has some bad humidity where breathing might be an issue.
Yeah, like the breathing conditions, like the air condition. I think it was like it's apparently not like healthy. I forgot what it was.
Yeah,
It's all
that's
one of those like
developing
Formula One
story.
accounts.
However, what we do know is the past history of the Singapore Grand Prix. The first race was 2008, marred by controversy. At the time, the first race scheduled in nighttime from Formula One history was won by Fernando Alonso, and unfortunately, we know what happened later on. I'm not going to dwell on it unless you want me to. This was a Crashgate scandal took place afterwards. I did my philosophy paper on team orders in F1, and Crashgate was 1/3 of the paper. But on brighter stories, 2009 was won by Lewis Hamilton, and as a result, Hamilton and Vettel are tied with most wins at Singapore with 4 apiece. Fernando Alonso has 2, Nico Rosberg with 1. Mercedes leads of all constructors with Singapore Grand Prix victories. Red Bull with 3, Ferrari 2, McLaren 1, and Renault 1. Fun fact: in 2015, a man walked on the racetrack during the race.
Yep.
He later was arrested.
Yep.
So what were you saying?
So
Man, not
we
surprised.
had last year in 2018, we had Hamilton, Verstappen, Vettel, Bottas, and Raikkonen. That's 1 through 5. What are your predictions for this race?
I think it's going to be very similar to last year. I mean, I think we will see more of a challenge from the Ferraris, but I think it's going to be the same result. I honestly think Hamilton's going to go back-to-back at Singapore. I think that he wants to prove. I think he's going to prove, the Ferraris have kind of been on a hot streak. I think Hamilton is going to kind of be a little bit motivated, okay, no, I'm going to shut this down.
Okay, now, do you think Verstappen is any bit of a threat in this upcoming race?
I think because I've heard that Red Bull has been better challenged at the tracks like the street circuits compared to Ferrari. So Red Bull might be up there with the Mercedes.
And sorry, go ahead.
I think like Verstappen, he's decent. I think at Singapore. I know there was the incident with Raikkonen and Vettel came across and clipped Verstappen and everything. Yeah, that was bad enough. And so I think Verstappen could be challenging at Singapore.
He's always been really good at Singapore. I mean, even last year, even though Hamilton dominated the race, Verstappen was the one who was running second most of the time. I mean, he almost nearly passed Hamilton when those laps. I think it was Van Dorn and Grosjean Van Dorn and Magnussen when they were racing each other. Hamilton trying to lap them.
The rest was
Van Dorn.
All right, guys. So give us your 1 through 5 real quick, and then we'll wrap it up there. We gotta go pick up our buddy from work. So let's go 1 through 5 predictions.
All right, 1 through 5. Hamilton, Verstappen, Leclerc, Vettel, and Raikkonen.
All right, Joe.
Lewis Hamilton, Sebastian Vettel, Charles Leclerc, Valerie Bottas, and Alexander Albon.
Okay, Albon 5th. Okay, interesting. All right, Justin, go.
For me, it's Lewis Hamilton first, Verstappen second, Bottas third, Albon fourth, and Leclerc will get 5th.
Ooh, why Leclerc 5th?
I think he's going to run better. I think he's going to, because I know Monaco he crashed out, but I think he's going to run really well because I feel like he could do good at street circuits, so he might perform really well and get a top 5 and beat Sebastian Vettel for a top 5.
Okay, all right. Now, Danny.
Yeah. Hamilton first, Bottas second, Leclerc in third, Vettel in fourth, and I'm going to go with Raikkonen in 5th.
All right, so I'm going to go Charles Leclerc, Hamilton, Bottas, Verstappen. Then we have man. I don't know. I think
Here's
maybe
the
Vettel after that.
All right, so
And
actually,
I
because
really want to see Perez up there.
Sergio Perez?
Yeah, I want to see Perez up there.
All right,
I
I'm
need
kind
him
of
to step up. I need him to step up.
all right. I kind of made like a last minute change since everyone picked Hamilton. I'm like, okay, someone needs to not like someone else needs. Obviously, you picked Charles, so here's my new one: switch Verstappen and Hamilton instead of Raikkonen at P5. Put Lando Norris at P5.
Okay.
Neat.
Okay. All right, boys. Well, I guess maybe potentially next time we talk about this, we'll talk about these results and we'll see what happens. But until then, we're signing off, guys. Thanks
All right,
very much.
take care. Thanks for coming on.
Hopefully I see you around, man.
Hey,
Especially-
Joe, you're at FAU, bro. You're right next to me, bro. So
Yeah,
let's
man. I
hang
go to
out,
Palm
man.
State. I pass
Yo,
by you all the time.
Diego. Hopefully
Let's do it,
you come up to New York, man.
Yeah, man, that'd be pretty cool to meet up, bro. That'd be awesome.
Got you, man.
All right, boys. Well, be safe, and we'll talk to y'all later. All right.
All right,
Peace
take
out.
care.
All right, thank you.
All right. See you guys.
Yep.
All right. Just want to give a quick thank you to Diego and Armand for being part of the podcast. Joseph, thank you for bringing them on to the podcast.
My pleasure.
Well, you guys already know our. Well, I guess we might as well go into our picks. We don't really need to talk about Formula One picks. We already stated them.
Yeah.
Blake, you want to give your Formula One pick in the comments while you're still trying to join? So I guess while he's doing that. So what else we got? We got Formula One in Singapore, and then we got the Cups and Xfinity Series at Richmond, along with IndyCar's season finale, Laguna Seca.
Yeah.
So let's start off with the Cup Series and the Xfinity Series, because I want to actually take a decent amount of time to talk about the season finale, Laguna Seca.
Oof.
It's game on.
Who can go for my cup pick?
My cup pick. You know what? I'm about to go with Kyle Busch, man. He's making a round of 12. Okay.
Kyle Busch owns Richmond. He's going to win.
Oh,
How do you know he doesn't own?
He has 6 wins, the most of active drivers in the list. In
That's
fact,
active. He doesn't have the most wins at Richmond.
All right, well, let's hold off on
Who
NASCAR.
has-
a moment. We got to talk about the IndyCar season
No,
finale.
no. Joe Armani said we have to do the Cup Xfinity picks first.
And I still haven't given my cup pick yet.
I'm trying to think.
Okay, let's just roll down to some fun facts here.
Wait.
Hold on, we still need to give our picks. God.
I'm trying to think. Wait. Oh, here's the time.
All right, well, Justin's figuring out his pick. I was originally going to go with Kyle Busch as well.
Look at all these
However,
multiple winners at Richmond.
the more I thought of it, I think that stage winner MTJ is going to go back-to-back for the first time in his career. Martin Truex Jr. gets his second win at Richmond.
Did you hear me make my pick?
I got you, Kyle Busch, you and Joseph.
Yeah.
My pick. He won here before. A couple times. I think. Wait, let me go check on. Let me do my research. Cause I know he's won at Richmond. I do remember this guy winning. Where's stats?
Oh no.
Where is it? Oh. He won here in let me check. He won once at Richmond, but he's not bad at Richmond. I feel like Brad Keselowski is going to win at Richmond because he's good at Richmond. It's one of his best tracks, so I feel like I think that Brad Keselowski is going to win at Richmond.
Brad Keselowski, not bad, eh?
All right, so we got a pair of JGRs and a Penske car. Basically, the story of the 2019 season. All right, so before we move on to Formula 1, we got one more series to talk about, the Xfinity Series. Oh, I say Hamilton first, then Bota. Okay, so Blake's got Lewis Hamilton taking the checkers at Singapore. So let's move on to the Xfinity Series. Who do you guys got?
Ricardo? Really?
I could see it happening. He finished top 5. He finished top 5 in Monza.
Got fourth at Monza.
Let's just hope he doesn't have another engine failure.
Well, he got fourth.
Yeah, that's not bad.
All right, so who do you guys got winning at Richmond in the Xfinity Series?
We know there's no Cup drivers, so yeah, that's so. Who has better stats at Richmond?
Well, here's the all-time wins list. It's Kevin Harvick with 7, Kyle Busch with 6.
No, I mean like actual Xfinity drivers. Who
Christopher Bell has 3.
But does he have better like average finish compared to other?
Bell
drivers?
doesn't have 3 wins, Xfinity wins at Richmond. He has 2.
Oh, 2, my bad.
He finished 16th in the spring.
Yeah, 16.
Christopher Custer. Nicole Custer.
I was gonna say Christopher Custer.
Coleslaw Custer.
Cole Custer.
Cole Custer won this year. And
Joseph almost said Christopher Custer. Maybe that's gonna be Cole Custer's son, Christopher Custer.
Find out in 30 years' time. All right. I think
he'll be in his 50s.
I think Christopher Bell is going to win.
Such a wild card. All right, what about the rest of you boys?
Wait, I have to find this driver. Let me go check this guy's.
Wait, did I make my Xfinity pick?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go with Christopher Bell, man. The guy's good at Richmond.
Wait, I have to go check. Okay, I got my pick now. My pick.
Sure.
Yes, my pick. He has a win this season. He is a rookie in the NASCAR Xfinity Series this season. He drives the 98 car. He won at Iowa, similar track. I feel like Chase Briscoe is going to win at Richmond.
Chase Briscoe.
Yeah.
All right, wait, hold on. Before, let me get the pen. Before I give my pick. Welcome on, Blake.
Hey, apologies for being late.
It's all good. It's all good, neighbor. No worries. Before I give my who's your pick for the Cup and Xfinity race of Richmond?
Well, usually I'm not very good with my picks, but I guess I'll just kind of pick whatever anyway. I think I missed your guys' picks. What were you guys' picks?
For us at Richmond, Danny and Joseph went with Kyle Busch. I went with Truex. Justin went with Keselowski. That's for the Cup race.
The Cup race. Yeah, I think I might go with Busch as well.
All right. And what about your Xfinity pick?
Xfinity, that's one I really don't know.
One eternity later.
Wait, let me take a look at the point standings real quick, just get an idea of who might finish well.
What the?
I think I'm gonna go with Christopher Bell.
All right. Again, another wild card.
No, not bad, man.
All right. So now that we got everyone else's picks out the way, I'm not gonna say my pick for the race win. I'm just gonna show it.
Oh no! Oh no!
You see what I did there? All right, let me see if I can make it bigger. Yeah, there you go. I think that's as big as I'm going to get it. That's as big as I think I'm going to get it. Yeah, I think Tyler Reddick's getting the win. He's going to go back to back. I mean, the man. You want to talk about? People say that Christopher Bell is the favorite. Tyler Reddick had more top fives than Christopher Bell has top tens.
Yeah, like Tyler Reddick.
If anyone's unstoppable, it's Tyler Reddick.
You know Tyler Reddick? He only has one game.
Whoa. Christopher Bell is number 1 in points right now.
That's because of the playoff reset.
But Tyler Reddick is the points leader for basically the entire season.
Yeah, but also Tyler Reddick has one DNF. One.
I know, in Las Vegas.
Vegas.
He has 2 DNFs. One at Vegas.
Yeah.
And one
Oh wait, Vegas.
Yeah, he DNF'd out of Vegas.
He did
The first Vegas
Oh,
race.
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
I was about to say the second Vegas race. I'm like, he won the second Vegas race. So if you win, you DNF or something.
No,
What was
that's
the
Denny
last time
Hamlin.
we DNF from a race?
What?
Denny Hamlin.
Oh, DNQ. Well, Ryan Seagal got DNQ'd.
DNQ never makes
Not DNQ. No, we didn't miss the race. Got DQ'd because there was no DNQs.
All right, so there's our picks for the races for the. Now let's get on to what I really want to talk about. And
Wait, we
hold
haven't
on.
done the supercars race. Super Cheap Auto Bathurst 1000 is in
Oh, that's in a couple
October.
weeks. Yeah, that's in a couple weeks.
Yeah. And also, Alexander Rossi and James Hinchcliffe go down there right after the season when IndyCar ends.
Time for Walkinshaw. Andretti United.
All right, so this is what I really want to spend a decent chunk of the podcast talking about the IndyCar season finale. And before we talk about it, I'm gonna go ahead and go pull up the point standings.
What was that race?
So racing reference, because I'm too lazy to scroll down through the World Racing Media Twitter. So here's what the point standings are looking like. I'm gonna just like I said, I want a racing reference for this one.
Hey, it's better than going on Wikipedia
What do you mean? It's so reliable.
like Joseph does.
Okay, so we're looking at 4 drivers here for the win, for the championship. We got Ross Newgarden, Rossi's 41 back. Pagano's 42, and then Dixon's 85. We're looking at these four right here. Power's out of it. Sato's out of it. And fifth on back is out of it. I mean, Power's been putting it on as of late, but like it's too late at this point for Power.
Yeah.
So, like I said, four drivers mathematically eligible to win the championship. Dixon is the long shot looking in. Rossi and Pagano, they're going to need some luck on their side. And then Newgarden, he's got a pretty sizable lead. But
what does Dixon need to do to get the championship?
By the way, I heard it. He has to win while Newgarden gets 23rd. So Newgarden has to get last and be out of the race.
This is like the worst case scenario.
Yeah,
Which
I doubt will ever happen. But
Joseph Newgarden, like, he doesn't DNF as much. He's been consistent, so Newgarden's going to be a factor. So I don't think he'll DNF.
If Newgarden finishes 23rd and Dixon wins, he'll overall win the championship.
Yep. It depends where Pagano and Rossi finish.
I want to take a look at each of the four drivers' stats, and then you guys are going to give me cases on why they will and will not win the championship. Then after that, we'll give our race win picks and then our championship picks. We're going to start off with the points leader, Joseph Newgarden. Obviously, I got to the screen shared for you. Newgarden is the easy pick. I mean, it's self-explanatory right here. He won the season opener at St. Petersburg. He's been the points leader for every single race except for after Indianapolis when Pagano won because of double points. And even then, he was only behind Pagano by 1 point. Think about it.
Yeah.
If Newgarden would have finished one spot better, he would probably be the points. He'd probably lead the points for the entire season.
Yeah.
You want to talk about dominance in the season? This is dominance of the season. I don't think we've seen a driver do this in a very, very long time.
Yeah.
The problem with Newgarden, in my opinion, is that he's been dominant, but he's always been within striking distance. He hasn't been able to just pull away. There's always that possibility that someone could just go and take it. It's not like, he doesn't have that lockup championship. He hasn't been able to lock it up. Like there's always every race you could say okay, you could feel like someone else could come out with the points lead. So let's take a look at Newgarden's stats. It's 16 starts on the season, 4 wins, 7 podiums, average start of 5.6, average finish of 5.5. Only one DNF coming at Mid Ohio when he decided to kamikaze Ryan Hunter-Ray.
But still, 1 DNF. That is good. DNF.
And 490 laps led on the season.
That is really good for Newgarden. Newgarden, he's been good this season.
He had it ever since the beginning of the season at St. Petersburg. He's just been on fire. Okay.
Yep. He was.
His worst finish is 15th at the IndyCar Grand Prix.
15th, yeah.
Oh, wait, no, 19th at Belle Isle. My bad.
Still not bad.
Yeah, he has 1 DNF, and he finished every race except 1. That is really impressive.
So I'm going to make my case of points why I think Newgarden win the title. And this is the easy one. He really just has to finish top 10. If he can finish top 10, I feel then he's got it. Yeah. The problem I see with Newgarden is simply for the fact that we're going to Laguna Seca. Laguna Seca, I think only 3 or 4 drivers actually race at Laguna Seca. I don't know if Dixon has or hasn't.
The last race at Laguna Seca was 2004.
So I believe Dixon has raced at Laguna Seca. So I'll get to that when it comes to Scott Dixon. But that's the only thing I have worried about for Newgarden is his lack of experience at Laguna Seca. And we've seen it ever since Mid Ohio. Something kind of happens to where Newgarden kind of just has a little bit of a falter. Mid Ohio, kamikaze Ryan Hunter-Ray finished 14th, his only DNF of the season. Pocono, he finished 5th, And then Gateway, obviously that incident with Santino Ferrucci, he spun out. And then he finished 5th at Portland. So interesting fact, Newgarden hasn't finished on the podium since his win at Iowa. 14th, 5th, 7th, 5th. He's just been doing good enough to maintain the points lead, but he hasn't really been, up there. I mean, he did leave 50 laps at Gateway, and had he not been spun out by Santino, he probably would have gotten a podium finish. I don't know exactly where they were running at the time. I think they were running 4th and 5th. So even then, he wouldn't have gotten a podium.
Yeah.
So that's my case for Newgarden. He basically has to do what he's been doing all season. But if he makes these recent mistakes, but if he makes mistakes he's been making at Mid Ohio and Gateway, he has a very decent shot at losing the championship because again, double points come into play. What do you guys think?
And I think it's definitely what you said, man, for sure.
Like I think that I think that Newgard, he has a good chance. The only thing, he has to learn the track first. Like during practice, he has to learn Laguna Seca, because he can't go out in like the race and say to learn the track. He has to basically get a lot of practice laps in to learn the racetrack. But then after he learns the racetrack, he could if he could learn the racetrack really well, he could he could try to qualify up front and stay up front and not have issues if he qualifies up front.
Sorry about that. What about the rest of you guys? What do you think, or how good do you think Newgarden's chances are? Don't give your pick. I'm saying, what do you think the chance of him taking home the crown?
Definitely. It's definitely up there.
He
Okay.
can definitely do it.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think he's got pretty much a 50-50 chance of winning it or losing it.
Yep.
Because IndyCar hasn't been to Laguna Seca since
2004.
Yeah.
15 years.
And we've seen in other series at Laguna Seca puts on it's a very difficult narrow track. We're going to see all the drivers using all the track, and we're going to see some accidents. We definitely, most certainly will see some accidents.
Oh, definitely.
Do what it takes to make the passes work, especially in parts of the track like the corkscrew. I mean, it's a very easy to remember track. That's the bright side about it.
The corkscrew is definitely a tricky spot, man.
I'm gonna say this: Newgarden's gonna hope that he has the same luck that he got at Circuit of the Americas. Completely new track, but he finished second. So he's better hopes. Laguna Seca, I think, is going to be a more difficult track. But again, he's gonna want to hold for that success. An interesting fact: only 2 races this season Newgarden has only had 2 races this season: Mid Ohio and Belle Isle, race 2, where he hasn't completed all the laps.
Wow.
And 6 races where he hasn't led a lap. Only 6.
Wow. That's impressive.
But like I said, he's never been able to just pull away in the standings. He's always been in grasp. So Newgarden, I give him a 65% shot to win the title. So let's move on to the driver who's second in the standings, Alexander Rossi. Alexander Rossi, I mean, the guy's Alexander Rossi's weird. He can either be really, really on it, or he's just not really relevant.
Yeah.
He'll have performances like Long Beach and Road America, where the guy looks like he's the only car on the track, and then he has performances like Iowa or Mid Ohio or Gateway, where you kind of just forget that he exists. And so let's take a look at Rossi's stats here. He's got 2 wins on the season coming at Long Beach and
Road America.
Interesting. Only 1 pole, which I found actually 2 poles, which I found kind of shocking. I thought he'd have more poles. 7 podiums, average start of 5.7, average finish of 6.4, 0 DNFs, and 182 laps led on the season. He's been second in points virtually all season. He's been flirting around second or third. Like I said, he's kind of really been the one to be in grasp between to Newgarden. He's been the one who, for the most part, has been able to get up there. Here's the thing. Rossi's not been on it recently.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know what's been going on with Alexander Rossi recently, but it's like, let's be honest, after Iowa, Pocono, Mid Ohio, Pocono, Gateway, and Portland, those are tracks that should favor Alexander Rossi over Newgarden. I thought after Iowa, Rossi would win the title because those tracks suit him better. And what happens? Mid Ohio, he's not really a factor. He finishes 5th. Pocono, he gets involved in that lap 1 crash. Gateway, he finishes 13th. At Portland, he finishes 3rd, which ain't bad.
Yeah, but like, yeah, I noticed that.
And
Yeah.
Rossi hasn't led a lap since his win at Road America.
Wow. That's
It's been that long.
Rossi's
Yeah.
been on a slump.
Yeah, I've
Well,
noticed.
a slump for Alexander Rossi is still a really good season. Don't get me wrong. But like he's not been championship caliber as of recently. I mean, especially after Mid Ohio, or after Mid Ohio, I really thought that Rossi would get the title after that incident with Newgarden and Hunter Ray, and then Pocono happened, and Gateway didn't do anything to make it any better, and Portland he finished third, which ain't bad, but it's like I don't know, I don't like Rossi's chances right now. I'd give if Rossi's Rossi's gonna have to hope Newgarden has a bad race, and he's gonna have to put on a performance like he puts on at Long Beach and Elkhart Lake at Road America.
I think like Rossi, he's gonna need some good luck, a great qualifying run. He's got to pull away and just running his own race. That's all.
Yeah, man. I think he really has to be aggressive.
But also about Rossi, it depends where he has to finish. It depends where Newgarden finishes. I don't know what are the scenarios. I need to know where they for. Let me go check.
They already said it about Dixon, right?
I know it's if Newgarden finishes 23rd or worse, but for
I think IndyCar on NBC posted it on Instagram.
It's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah,
guys, I want to mention that Simon Pagenaud is going to be in the same situation as
we'll
Rossi.
get to
He's behind on 1 point, but
and
back
we'll get
to Rossi though.
Yeah, we'll get to Pagenaud later.
Wait, I just have to. Let me go check IndyCar.
But go ahead, talk about Rossi.
I think Alexander Rossi, what he needs to do is just run a great race from start to finish, and qualify well. If he can't qualify somewhere in the top 5,
I like it.
it's over. I'm sorry. And just looking at Rossi and his stats, and seeing that he's ran endurance racing before his time in F1 is a great sign to see that. So he has some experience at Laguna Seca before.
Hey! I got the championship scenarios.
Oh, let's hear him.
If Newgarden finishes 4th or up, he has the championship locked. Newgarden finishes 5th. Joseph must get two more bonus points, then Rossi or 3 over Pagenaud to win the championship. But for Pagenaud or Rossi to win the championship, if Newgarden finishes 7th or worse. So basically, Newgarden has to finish 4th or up to have the championship. But if he finishes 5th or 6th, he has to get bonus points. But if he finishes 7th or worse, the title goes to Rossi or Pagenaud.
Here's the thing. I could see Newgarden finishing 7th.
But I don't know if he will.
It's not like Dixon last year where you were running at Sonoma, and Dixon's the master at Sonoma. And Dixon basically had it locked. We're going to a racetrack that very few drivers on the grid have been to. We've seen mistakes come out of Joseph Newgarden this season. I could see him losing this championship. I don't think it's going to happen, but I could see it happening. That's why I only gave him a 65% shot.
So basically, to not be able to get the so basically Newgarden, if he doesn't get bonus points, he'll have to finish 4th or better to get the championship. Without bonus points, it would try to get 4th. But it depends how he can qualify.
Qualifying is very crucial to the race.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be the most intense qualifying session the whole weekend.
All right, so as for a percentage of what I give Rossi to win the championship, I give him a 40% chance to win the championship.
Yeah, I have to say the same thing.
Yeah, about 30%. Yeah,
I'd say like 38%.
30.
Yeah, something like that.
All right, so that's Alexander Rossi. Now let's take a look at the guy who's P3 in the standings. Simon Pagano, who after having a horrible 2018 season, 0 wins, only 2 podiums, he has bounced back after Indianapolis. I mean, the season didn't look too hot, especially after like the first 4 races where he was 11th in points. But after the Indy GP, he broke the winless streak. He got the win and he swept the month of May. He dominated the Indy 500. There's no question about it.
Yeah.
And like I said, he's the only other driver this season to have the points lead over Newgarden, albeit by 1 point, but still. He kind of fell off a little bit during Indianapolis, and then Toronto he won again. And then Iowa 4th, Mid-Ohio 6th, Pocono podium, Gateway 5th, Portland 7th.
Yeah, he's been really good recently.
And if you take a look at the stats here, 3 wins, 4 podiums, an average start of 8.9, average finish of 6.7, also 0 DNFs, and 276 laps led.
And I have something to tell you. Laguna Seca, Simon Pagano finished on the podium in his class in 2008 and won in 2009 in the American Le Mans Series. So there is the background with Pagano 656. That's the Mazda race with Laguna Seca. So don't count him out.
Well, actually, I think I have to correct you there. It's now WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca, not Mazda Raceway anymore.
Yes, it's WeatherTech. Yeah, I forgot WeatherTech Raceway.
But yes, you have a very good point there. And not only that, but I'm looking at concretely just the finishing orders or his finishes this season, and he's been statistically, it looks like he's been more consistent than either Rossi or Newgarden this season.
He does exceed podiums compared to both Rossi and Newgarden, which Newgarden has 7 podiums along with Rossi. Pagano has 9.
Pagano has 4.
Oh, I completely read my own handwriting wrong. 4 podiums.
9 and 4.
We'll get to the guy with 9 podiums in a minute.
Yeah, I read the wrong one.
We'll get to him in a minute.
But yeah, he is steady. He's a very steady driver, and I think Simon will have the upper end, possibly because he has more experience racing firsthand at Laguna Seca, which is very important.
Well, it's been a while. That's the problem. Is 2019. Laguna Seca's changed over 10 years, so the track's changed. Like the surface at least changed.
Yeah, Pagano, he's been quietly consistent. I mean, he's been right there with Rossi for second in points, and Newgarden has been kind of pulling away. But I like Pagano's odds. I know Race Day 2011 is going to like this, but I get Pagano. I mean, there's not that much to say about Pagano, really. It's just he's been quietly consistent, and so I could see him winning the championship. So. For percentage, I actually give Pagano a higher percentage than Rossi. I give Pagano a 48% chance of winning the championship. I just have a feeling that Pagano is gonna get on it. And that experience, as you said, at Laguna Seca, not only being at Laguna Seca, but winning at Laguna Seca, that's really gonna help him.
It'll be close. I mean, if you're Scott Dixon at this point, we'll
get to Dixon.
Yeah.
What do you guys think are Pagano's chances?
I think they're about 40% chance, possibly. I think it's 40% chance that he gets the championship.
If something happens to Pagano, then he's out of luck. I think he might need to have a little bit of luck on his side.
Oh yeah, before we continue, NASCAR Opinion, he's live on Twitter giving his Xfinity playoff predictions. So when we're done here, so when we're done here, you guys go on Twitter, check out the stream. I know I'll be doing that when I'm done here.
Oh, for
all
sure.
Right. Did all you give your predictions, your percentage for Pagano?
Oh, I didn't.
I said about 4. I said 40%.
Yeah, I know you said 40.
Yeah.
I think along with I think along with Newgarden, both of them I think have about a 50-50 chance.
Yeah.
What about you, Joseph?
I think if any driver outside Newgarden wins the title, that's Rossi.
What are your percentage chances for Pagano?
My percentage chance for Pagano is actually 25.
Whoa.
All right. All right, now to the final driver who's mathematically eligible for the championship, Scott Dixon, the defending champion. Now, he's been like fourth in points the entire season. I mean, you can take a look at it right there. In my opinion, he's never really been a threat for the championship all season long. And like there was this, and I read the stat, but Scott Dixon's never won back-to-back championships. He always has like a championship slump. But interesting fact, I'm not going to harp on Dixon too much. Let's take a look at the statistics. 16 starts of the season, 2 wins, but he has the most podiums out of any driver in the field with 9. That's the driver with 9 podiums, not Pagano. Average start of 5.7, average finish of 7.9. 3 DNFs. 2 of them have come from crashes, and 1 of them has come from the radiator problem at Gateway, or radiator problem at Gateway, and 214 laps led. It seems like this year here's the thing. Before this year, Dixon had DNF for like 2.5 years, and now he's with 3. But the problem is 2 of them have come from crashes. You could say they were like one of them was his mistake, and the other one was because him and Colton were racing aggressively at Texas.
Yeah.
But like I said, man, Dixon, like he hasn't really had the race winning pace, and he's just I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is with Dixon. Every time with him winning a championship, and then the next season he's kind of like not. I mean, he is in the conversation this year, but in my opinion, he has the least likely shot out of any of these 4 to win the championship. Even though he has the most podiums on the season. I mean, 3. If it's not a wreck, it's a mechanical failure. I mean, the radiator problem at Gateway, at Portland, he had an issue. He went multiple laps down. So I think it's just too late for Dixon. After Pocono and Mid-Ohio, you could have made an argument for Dixon being a threat for the championship. But after Gateway and Portland, I think his chances are like he's going to need – I think Dixon, he needs a miracle to win the championship.
He has to make sure Newgarden finishes 23rd or 24th. So basically, Newgarden has to wreck out, and that that Rossi and Pagano don't good for Dixon to get the championship. But what are the odds of Newgarden getting 23rd or 24th? That's the problem.
Not entirely out of the question. Unlikely, but not entirely out of the question.
But it depends where if Newgarden wrecks out and Rossi and Pagano finish. For example,
Where are the lines?
Like, the problem is, if Newgarden crashes out, it depends who's higher. What happens if, like, Pagano wins the race and Newgarden gets 23rd? For an example, Dixon gets 10th while Rossi gets 5th. It would be Pagano's championship. So basically, Dixon has to win the race while Newgarden gets 23rd in the race to get the championship. And that both Rossi and Pagano have problems for Dixon to get a championship. So, yeah, that's the only way Dixon gets the championship.
What do you guys think? Danny, I want to hear your point. I know Dixon's your favorite. I know you like Dixon. What do you think are Dixon's chances?
Dixon, if something definitely happens to him, you know what? I'll have to go with the 60%, man. Something definitely gonna happen with Dixon, You
think Dixon's got a 60% chance to win the championship?
Yeah.
All right.
For sure.
What about the rest of you guys?
For me, it's really low. For me, it's like 20%. Because I don't feel like Pagano, Rossi, and Newgarden are all gonna crash. I don't think like Rossi and Pagano will crash out. He basically has to make all his championship contenders crash out while he wins. That's the problem. I don't feel like they're all gonna crash out, so I think Dixon is 20% chance.
What about you? What about you, Blake Joseph?
A 10% chance.
Oof.
I agree with Joe. I think about a 10% chance.
I'm gonna go in the middle between you guys and Justin. I give Dixon a 15% chance. I think it's too late. He's too far back, in my opinion. And like Justin said, you're just asking for too much. You're just asking for too much.
Yeah.
Like, okay, Newgarden crashing, that makes sense. But then you're gonna ask for
Dixon
Rossi and
and
Pagano to do bad. That's asking for too much.
Yeah, because that's the only way. Because
Unless it's a 2015 situation.
yeah, like Montoya had to pass one car to win the championship. That was Ryan Briscoe that drove the car replacing Hinchcliffe, and he didn't pass him. That's how Dixon got the championship. If Montoya could have beaten Ryan Briscoe to the line, he would have got the championship.
All right, so those are you guys got any final words to say about the Ford title contenders?
Game on. One race.
All right, so that's a look at the title contenders for the 2019 NTT IndyCar Series Championship. So now let's go on to our picks. We'll start off with our race-winning picks, and we'll start with our championship picks. Then we'll go into championship. Who do you guys got winning the return to Laguna Seca, the finale to the 2019 IndyCar Series season? That's still too little amount of races.
All right, so I'm just looking at the history. Bobby Rahal has the most wins before, and here's a fun fact: they came consecutively, and so did Michael Andretti, so did Patrick Carpentier, so did Paul Tracy.
Well, they're not racing. Well, they're not racing anymore.
Of course. So here's my take: you got to win the race before Laguna Seca to find victory. That means willpower is the winner.
Come on.
Although I have instant regrets.
I think.
You can always pick William Byron every time again.
He doesn't race in the car yet.
No. For NASCAR, you should start picking William Byron again.
You know what, Joseph? New rule: you always have to pick Sebastian Vettel and William Byron.
Oh my God!
Wait, I'm trying to think. Wait.
And Thomas has to pick a JGR driver for Xfinity, and I have to pick the God himself.
Oh, come on. I think Joseph Newgarden, for some reason, I feel like he can do well. Even if he's never been there, I think he could really do well because, one, Penske's good at qualifying. Penske has qualifying speed and race speed, and, like, he could be good. He's good at road courses. That's really key. Most of the races in IndyCar are road courses, so I feel like he will win the race. So yeah, I think Newgarden will win at Laguna Seca.
All right, what about Blake and Danny?
I think Pagano, I think, has the edge in everybody else with his experience at the track, having won before in other series. So I think Pagano has the best chance to win.
I've honestly got to go with. I'm sticking with my man Dixon. Okay, you know, the guy is good on road courses. He really is. But the fact that he was in a kind of a slump this year, we might have to pull off a miracle. We need a miracle to happen on this one, man.
Amazing.
So if it happens, you know, then.
All right, so I'm just going to tell you guys this before I make my pick. Our picks aren't 100% locked in until the day of the race. So let me explain. So, Laguna Seca is a wild card. We understand this. I was going to go with Scott Dixon until Danny picked Dixon because I'm trying to take the points lead back. I kind of need to pick somebody else. So, speaking of wild cards, how about this for a wild card for you? Santino Ferrucci gets his first win.
What the? Wait,
Larry, I know you're gonna like that.
You really think Santino Ferrucci's gonna win?
I got Santucci getting the win.
I think it's not out of the question.
the last time Dale Corn car won was last year at St. Petersburg with Ford A. So it's been a year since. My goodness, Dale Corn racing car went to victory lane, and we've seen Colton Herta win at Coda that nobody expected that.
He has experience, even
But-
though not in an Indy car.
But not at Coda. Has he ever raced at Coda in any racing?
I'm sure he has, and
But-
this is the same case with Laguna Seca
Well,
times 2 because the track existed since 1957.
but like the problem about like, so I don't. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a wild card because most of the drivers never went to Laguna Seca, and an Indy car drives different than an IMSA car, so
And yeah, there's only a handful of guys that are in this race that drove an Indy car at Laguna Seca in a race. Bourdais,
yeah,
Dixon.
So
yeah.
I think it's not out of the question for him to at least finish well. A win. Now, I don't know how likely that is, but it's not completely out of the question. We've seen him do well.
All right, and now for the final segment of the podcast, who do you guys got winning the 2019 IndyCar Series Championship?
Joseph Newgarden for sure, man.
Yeah, I'm going with Newgarden.
I'm going with Joseph Newgarden because I want him to get 2 championships for Penske, and then he could change his number back to number 1 like he did in 2018.
If you would have
then-
told me a couple years ago that Newgarden would have more championships than Power, I'd probably think you're on drugs.
Well, Newgarden's been doing good this season. He's had the points lead for almost every race except after Indy 500. But Joseph Newgarden, he's been strong the whole season. So yeah, Newgarden's going to get the championship, his second title in 3 years.
All right, now who the rest of you got?
I got my money on Pagano.
All right, and what about you, Joseph? Who do you got winning the championship?
I'm going with Joseph Newgarden. I have a feeling Alexander Rossi will come close or have a brief moment in time where if the race ended, he'd win the title. But then it's going to be a tight battle. Just like 2017. Newgarden is a 2-time champion.
All right. Now, before we end off, Blake, I know I don't know if you know this, but for our championship picks for the World Racing Media Championship, if you get the title pick right, you get an extra 8 bonus points. So let's say you get Newgarden's pick right, you get an extra 8 points towards our fantasy league championship. So so who do you got? Since the playoffs are upon us for the NASCAR series, who do you got taking home the crown for those series?
For
Cup,
the
Xfinity, and Truck.
let's go with Cup first. This one's a bit difficult. It's always a bit tight, but just I like to have a visual with the current points are first before I make my pick. So let me just. All right, so top 5 in points we have Martin Truex, Kevin Harvick, Joey Logano, Kyle Busch, and Brad Keselowski. I think I'm gonna go with Martin Truex. I know it seems kind of cliche to pick whoever's first in points, but I think it's pretty likely.
So we got an MCJ.
What? What happened?
You have Truex?
Yes, I have Truex.
All righty.
Now for
Let's talk about
Xfinity.
since now you got your pick in. Let's move into to endurance racing. Just real quick. There's a sports car race this weekend. It's the 4 Hours of Spa for race 5 and 6 of the European Le Mans Series. And the LMP2 points look like this. G-Drive Racing leads. IDC Sport second. Graf is third. Driving and Speed is fourth. And Duquesne is fifth. LMP3 Inter Europol is the lead. Euro International second. United Autosport third. LMGTE points standings. You have Luzic, number 51. Dempsey Proton is in second. Kessel Racing third. JMW Motorsports fourth. And in the 55 Spirit of Race is fifth. The 4 hour race at Silverstone. I mean, at Spa, I don't remember if it's on a Saturday or Sunday. I'll have to double check.
So Joe, now that you're getting into sports car racing, we also have IMSA at Laguna Seca as well.
That was this past weekend.
Oh wait, it was this past weekend?
Yeah.
Oh, my mistake. My mistake.
You'd think they would race the same time as IndyCar.
But the problem is on the Saturday they have Indy Lights and all the other companion races like the lower Indy series like Indy Lights and all that is on Saturday. That's the problem. They have Indy Lights, Indy Pro 2000. They have all those racing series on the Saturday while having practices and qualifying for IndyCar. That's why they couldn't put IMSA. They couldn't fit it in with all the other series going on.
Yeah, a lot of times they have IMSA with IndyCar, but I guess they couldn't fit it.
Yeah, like they had all the other IndyCar series at the same time.
It's a shame because that's always a big money thing and it draws a big crowd.
Let me check here. Like the IndyCar series, they have. Let me go check on their schedule. This weekend they have on Friday they have Cooper Tire. On Friday they have practices for IndyCar, Indy Lights, Indy Pro 2000, and the Cooper Tires USF 2000. Saturday they have practice qualifying, Indy Lights qualifications, Indy Lights, Indy Pro 2000, and Cooper Tires USF 2000 race 1. Then they have Indy Lights race 2 on Sunday, Cooper Tires race 2, the race at Laguna Seca for IndyCar, and then they have the Indy Pro 2000 right after that. Yeah.
It always puzzles me why they would have a lower series after the big stuff.
Yeah, Indy Pro 2000. That's weird. That's after the.
It's always. I mean, I've gone to Lime Rock before and seen that, and I was just like, "Who the hell figured that out? Who?
Yeah.
That?
Race car do things differently if money's not made.
It's like who's gonna watch that after the big stuff? People are just gonna go home after the big stuff.
Yeah, they have their flights home and hotels are checking out.
I mean, the fans are all just gonna go home after the big stuff. It's not very smart, I don't think, to do that. Although there could be something they know that I don't.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. I think we have everything covered. Let's talk quickly about our cup picks. I think we already talked about Richmond.
I know there's some lower series races this weekend also. Like the modifieds at New Hampshire. Yeah, this weekend. K&N East at New Hampshire. The Penny Series at New Hampshire, you have lower series races.
Modified.
The Penny Series and the East Series are at New Hampshire Motor Speedway.
Yeah, I just wanted to say this is, last night there was sad news in the NASCAR Modified Tour World. 9-time Touring Series champion, 7-time Modified champion, Mike Stefanik was tragically killed in a plane accident last night at the age of 61. And today is actually the 2-year anniversary of Ted Christopher's fatal accident, which he also died on a plane crash too. Ted Christopher was one of the winningest drivers in modified tour history. So that's going to be a heavy-hearted weekend for sure when they go to Loudon, New Hampshire. And Loudon is like their version of Daytona. It's the most anticipated race, I think, on the modified calendar. The Penny Series, of course, they're racing.
Yeah.
I think it's round 12 or 13.
Yep. And this is their only race in the United States.
What's round 13?
Round 13's on the 28th. On the 28th, that is at Jukasa Motor Speedway. At Jukasa, I think.
Yeah.
Jukasa Motor Speedway. Yeah, that's the final race of the season.
And then for K&N East, that's round 11 of 12.
Yep. Their last race will be at Dover in October.
Where's Jukasa?
It's in Ontario.
Oh.
Yeah. I know I know it's kind of weird Yeah. I know let me just check.
One thing I want to ask is who do you guys, since the Xfinity playoffs have started, who do you guys got winning the Xfinity Series championship? And remember, for the 8 bonus points, if your driver gets eliminated, you're no longer qualified for the 8 bonus points. So, for example, NASCAR opinion, will he pick Sauter to win the championship? Sauter got eliminated, so he can collect any. Yep, basically.
My Xfinity pick. I got my pick. He currently drives for Stuart Haas. He almost won the title last year. Without the playoffs, he would have won the title possibly. He would have been actually 1 point behind Hemrick. I feel like Cole Custer because he's been running solid on a mile and a half, and he won at Homestead before. So I feel like car number 00. I think Cole Custer will get his first championship.
All right. Now, what about you guys? The rest of you guys.
I'm going to go with Christopher Bell. I know Tyler Reddick's on a tear, but it's going to come short. I just something's going to halt that second championship of Tyler Reddick.
But
all right, what about you, Blake, Danny?
I think I'm going to also go with Christopher Bell.
Danny? You're gonna hop on the Bell bandwagon too? I don't think Danny's here.
Danny fell on the sleep bandwagon.
Hey, at least he's on mute. He's not snoring.
Facts. All right, so the same pick I got for Richmond. It's the same pick I got for the championship. It's a guy on my profile pick. I think Tyler Reddick goes back to back and be the first champion under this new format in any series to go back to back.
Okay.
Actually, wait, scratch that. No, Brett Moffitt would be that one because Brett Moffitt's my truck title pick. Like I said, I think the champions of the previous season where everyone said that none of them deserve it, they got something to prove. And I think at least 2 out of the 3 are going to get it done and prove why they deserve to be champions.
Alrighty.
Let's just say last year people could say that it was because of the playoffs. This year they won't be able to say anything. All right, now I think that's everything.
I know there's some little events this weekend, like K&N East, Penny Series, and Modifieds at New Hampshire. There's let me think. And also, guys, you gotta tune into the races on Friday. Tune into NBCSN for IndyCar.
Justin's daily.
Not IndyCar.
Justin's weekly threat to tune into the races.
Saturday, tune into the Cup Series on NBCSN. Hey, also Saturday, modified K&N East and Penny Series. Tune in on Fans Choice TV. Sunday, tune into the IndyCar race on NBC. You guys better watch.
And that's Justin's weekly threat to watch the weekend races. All right, and you guys have anything else you want to say before we sign off?
please check out my Twitter at YTNASCAR. Check out my Instagram at JustinBear88, and go subscribe to my YouTube channel, NASCAR88.
Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, Danny Aguero48, and follow me on Twitter at NoBoostDanny.
Oh, wait, Danny. Before we sign out, Danny, who's your Xfinity pick for the championship?
Oh, Custer.
Okay. Now you guys can continue.
Follow my Twitter at JLPSnipes.
All right. Blake, you want to shout out any social media?
I'll just be here.
All right. Follow me on Twitter at VelocityWRM. Follow me on Instagram at VelocityWRM. Follow us on Twitter, WR Media Group. Follow us on Instagram at World Racing Media. Follow us on Facebook at World Racing Media. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And remember, folks, to stay off the damn weed.
Catch you guys on the flip side. Peace.